Good afternoon, friends. This is Sergey Kromchenko, and I apologize about the sound of birds if you can hear it and everything else, because we are in Mexico right now, in Tulum. But regardless of that, today we're going to talk about CSS selectors and how to become a pro at that. I know some of our students did have quite a few questions, and they asked us to help them to fully understand it and become a pro. So today is the time for it. But don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button below. Also, a Telegram channel that you need to subscribe. Thank you. Alright, now we're going to practice finding CSS selectors on an eBay website. So let's mouse hover and do the right click on the search text box and click on inspect. You will see that elements tab will open up, and usually you will probably open up on one of the sides for you just like that. But what you want to do, you want to click on a triple dot and choose the bottom part of the screen. Perfect. Now you're going to see it in a much better and a clearer way. All right, so let's click on a search, not actually search, but choosing icon on the left side, and click on search text box. By the way, let me make it a little bigger so you guys could see it better. Perfect. So now when you mouse hover this selector, it will show you that, oh, that's the actual text box, and it's right there. But what we're going to do, we're going to have to choose, let's see, we're going to have to find unique selectors. There are quite a few of them, but we're going to start with a simple one with an ID, because IDs are usually unique. So let's just double click on it, Command C, Command F, Command V. Perfect. Now you see it at the bottom, but you see 1 out of 10, but we didn't finish it yet. First of all, we're going to have to add a hashtag at the beginning. Hashtag in the CSS stands for ID. So that's how you choose ID. That's how you find a unique selector, by ID. But there is also another way of doing that. Instead of choosing just a value, you can do double click, Command A, Command C, Command F, Command V, and then put a square brackets around it. So this is called an attribute. Everything that you see on a page, class equals to blah, 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 that's an attribute. For equals to blah, 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 that's an attribute. Area hidden equals to true, that's also an attribute. So something equals to something on a page is an attribute. And you can use any of them by simply putting them into square brackets. And that's how you choose it. So now we know how to choose it by specifying a hashtag for an ID or simply putting it inside of the square brackets. All right, so the next one would be CSS class. Let's double click on it and choose, I think this one might be unique. I got just that part of the class. By the way, whenever you guys are choosing one of the class, whenever there's a space in the value of the classes, that means those are separate classes and you can choose one of them or both of them. It's up to you. I'm gonna Command C, Command F, Command V to paste it, and then I'm gonna put a dot in front of it. Dot stands for, guess what? Dot stands for the class. You got it right. So whenever we say dot something, we're saying class something. Same thing with a hashtag. It's just like a shortcut. Perfect. So now we know IDs, now we know classes, and now we know attributes. And one more thing, whenever you choose class or even an ID, and there are a couple of them, as you remember, space means a few of them. You can choose either by attribute. Once again, we're going to paste it all and put it inside of the square brackets. It works, right? But we are using two classes. And if one of them changes, your selector will be broken. So I highly recommend you to always take as least elements as possible. In this case, we have two, but we can choose only one, which will help us in a way that we will have about 50% lesser chance of our automation selector being broken, because once again, two of them together 100%, one of them is 50%, so we're 50% ahead. All right, awesome. Choosing as least selectors as possible. All right, so now we know IDs, classes, and attributes. Next one, we're going to go and we're going to be combining selectors. So let's say we are choosing, we want to choose area expanded false as our selector. But there is 9 of them, right? But what if we want to make it unique? How do we make it unique? That's the second question. Well, we can combine them. So our selector starts with input. So if you remember, type text, class, area, blah, 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 all of those are attributes. The first word that every line starts with is called a tag. Div is a tag, label is a tag, TD is a tag, TR is a tag, TBody is a tag. Input is a tag, but style is an attribute, role is an attribute, and span is a tag. Awesome. And if we can choose multiple selectors in one line. We simply add input, and now instead of 9, we have 1. You can see it right here. But if I will remove input again, you will see that we have a 9 again. All right, let's put it back and explain it to you in one more way. So there are 2 ways to use multiple selector. First way is to have no space between them. Second way is to add a space between them. If you add a space, that means that they are different level selector, meaning if they're together, they are one selector. If we put a space, it means that if we put a space between them, it means we're expecting this tag to be a children of an input, but it's the same level, it's the same pretty much person, right? If it would be different level, it would live anywhere here. So if we put div instead of tag, it will work, but we will still have 9 of them because all 9 of them, all 9 area expanded false have a parent div or a grandparent div, right? So once again, if we use no space, we're specifying one selector. We're specifying one element with 2 selectors. If we put a space, we're expecting multiple elements, multiple levels selector on a page. For example, you know what? How about we update this div into an input just for testing purposes? And now if we hit enter, we will find it, right? It will work if we will have no space, if we will have a space, because there is an input right here in the same level. And now it will also work because the parent selector of area expanded false is also an input. Awesome. I hope you remember this one. This one is super handy. And by the way, let me also show you how we can, let me just refresh the page because it looks like I broke something. So let me show you how we can use multi-level selectors, how we can combine them in order to eliminate some of the results that we don't want to see. All right. So let's say we have multiple results for the search Rolex, right? And let's say we want to find, how do we find, or there we go. Let's say we want to find an entire thing. Yeah, we want to find multiple results. Actually all of them. So that would be, let's see, as item, blah, blah, blah. There we go. Let's choose it. And I don't like the fact that we have a space here, so I want to choose only as item. Perfect. Now we have 67 of them, right? But the thing is, I want to see only results being selected. But if I go back to the first one, 2, 1, there we go. So actually that's the second one and the first one. And the first one is JavaScript. You can always ignore JavaScript because whenever we're choosing selectors for our automation will never access JavaScript unless we specifically specify that. But in this case, we're just going to ignore it. So we have 67 results minus 1 JavaScript result, which we ignore. So total is 66. All right, what do we do now? So we do have, for some reason, as item also, this element is also as item. I have no idea where it comes from. I have no idea what it's doing there, but I do know that we need to eliminate it. We want to start only from this one and go into that one. So let's go back. All right, So now let's find out where does this guy live. So this one has a parent clipped, right? And then so on and so on. Let me make it a little bigger so you guys could see more levels. But how about a second one? So that's the first one. That's an ugly one that we want to eliminate. But the actual first one is a list. And then the second one, let me show you. Second one is also list. And then list, 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 right? All of them are lists. So all of those selectors have a different parent selector with this guy. How about we use this parent selector, which is, let me show you, which is combining all of the ones that we need, all of the result ones. That was this one right here. You see that? That one is combining all of them, but that one is eliminating that one because they have a different parent selector. So as item, but how about we add SRP result right next to it? Oops, too many. Command F. We're gonna put a space, and then at the beginning we're gonna say dot, and then we paste it. Perfect. Now we start with this parent, and we go into the list children. Actually, not list, but as item children, which is amazing. Which is exactly what we need, right? We are not paying attention to this guy anymore because that as item does not have this parent dot srp results. Perfect. I hope it's clear. Please play with it, but we're gonna keep moving. All right, so that's how we eliminate them. And I think I had one more item to show you. Pseudo selectors. Someone called them pseudo selectors. I simply call them children because that's what they are. All right, now let's find out how can we choose by index. And I'll show you in a sec what I mean. So let's say we want to click on one of those related items. And let's find the entire line of them. Okay, SRP related searches. I think that's a good selector to start with. And then we want to find one of those items. Perfect. Yeah, let's start with this one. So we're gonna paste it, and then we're gonna say space A. And we have 12 of them, right? It's good, but how about we want to choose the first one, and we don't care about a name. We just want to go by first one. So you put a colon and say first child. You got it. Now we see only one, and that's the first one. So if we want to click on it, we click on it. Also, we can simply find a last one in the same way. We just say last instead of the first one, and you will see that it's choosing the last child, which is right there. Perfect. So we got a last child, but how about second, third, fourth, etc.? Well, they do also have an option for those. So we say nth, which stands for like numberth. I don't know how else to explain it, but anyways, as long as it works, that's how they say. Nth child, and then we say 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So we can choose any one of them, but my recommendation to you guys, please never use nth child or first child, last child, etc. Try to always find selector in any possible way. Try to avoid indexes as much as you can, because usually index means you just choose by number. You don't care what's inside, what's the actual value. And that value can change anytime, and you will never know because you're just choosing by index. Awesome. All right. And I think we had following one. Actually, we had 2 more. Following sibling. Perfect. Let's come back. So we do have, let's see, where can we use as the good search example? We can go to previous search. So we got as item, let's say we're choosing that one. We got 14 of those, right? Actually, let me come back and find previous selector that we had. That was entire search. I think it was results. Yeah, exactly. It was SRP results. We're gonna grab it, we're gonna paste it, put a dot next to it, and then we're gonna add as item right next to it. Actually, no, let's not do that. Let's just leave it alone and choose one of the lists. Yeah, let's say we want to choose the first list. So what we can do is we can choose it by using previous sibling, which is a div. So we're going to choose that sibling. We're going to copy it all together since we don't care, just for this moment. So we've got the div, right? We have chosen a first div, and then we can choose a following sibling. We say plus li. Plus li will choose the next one, which is the following sibling. It's good to know it, but it's not the best to use it because it's pretty much similar to index, because you're just choosing next one and you don't care what it is as long as it is a list. So I highly recommend you actually not to use it, but if you will have to, go ahead, but try to avoid it for any price. Awesome. And the last one, not. Let's see, what is not? So we do have our selector, right? The one that we have chosen to choose, we have found to choose only 65 results. And so all of them are lists, right? But let's say one of them would be span. And number one would be div. We've updated those. We have a list, div, which is right here. It still works, right? It's just a different kind of selector, different kind of tag. So it still works. And let me hit enter to verify that we still have 65 of them, right? Yep, still 65. How about now we want to choose only lists. We want to ignore divs. So then we would say, we'll put a colon, say not, and div. Now we have 64. But what if we want to ignore divs and spans in this list as well? We'll put a comma and say span, as easy as that. Now we have 63. So that's how you can eliminate other tags. You can do the same thing with exact same thing with the attributes and ID and any kind of attributes like IDs, classes, etc., data views, etc. Perfect. Now you even know how to ignore some of the selectors. Please let me know if you enjoyed it, or if you have any other ideas in a comment below. I would appreciate it, and possibly would come up with a video with an idea for the next video. Now you're a CSS pro, and please let me know if you would like to hear anything else about a CSS selector, or possibly how to work with the XPath or any other types of selectors. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you soon.